back to another Kondinin Group workshop tip for Farming Ahead magazine and Hare and Forbes Machinery Warehouse. And look, today we're going to look at something pretty simple, and that's marking your work. Now, if you can't make an accurate mark, you can't really expect to do accurate work. A typical thing that we've all used in the past is the old engineer's soapstone chalk. You need to sharpen that really to get any kind of good mark out of it. One of the problems with this stuff, it rubs off pretty easy. It's easy to see on steel, but it rubs off pretty easy. Something I've always used in the past is a good old lead pencil. Makes a good mark on steel. It's hard to see, but it doesn't rub off. And it's also good for marking timber. One good thing is you can sharpen the point up pretty sharp and get reasonable accuracy. Carpenter's pencil, good for marking timber. You can mark steel with it. You know, it's not very accurate. It's got quite a fat point. Probably not really good for fabrication work. Same with a crayon. That's really for marking masonry or for marking timber. Not really so good for steel. If you're chasing a highly visible mark, paint pens are pretty good. But once again, you know, that mark's about 2 or 3 millimeters wide. So no good there really if you want any kind of accuracy. Marking pens like this Sharpie, that's a fat tip. So, you know, you'll get a reasonable mark out of that, that you can see, not too bad. But the pens actually don't last too long. The tips get a bit polluted, which is why there are now these workshop trade kind of markers available. There's quite a few different types, and they apparently last a lot longer without the tips getting polluted, but they still wear on rough surfaces. But you can see not too bad a mark there, that doesn't rub off. They're of course a little bit more expensive than your standard marker. If you want to lash out and buy yourself something really nice, this Markle Silver Streak soapstone pencil is one of my favourites. And that's actually a similar mark to your chalk. It's quite visible, it's a lot more accurate, but the beauty about it, doesn't really rub off. It stays there quite well. In the same vein, it's like a mechanical pencil, just like the Silver Streak, is this trades marker. That replaces your typical wax pencil. So yeah, look, you can mark steel with that. It's pretty good, but it's also really good where you'd use a Chinograph pencil, so like marking glass or tiles. And both those two pencils, of course, have these replaceable inserts. See, the wax type pencil's got a few different colours there. If you're really chasing accuracy, you need to go down the route of using a scriber. Now, typically you would, if it's precision work, you would probably use a marking die on your surface. These are pretty good, as long as you know where to look, and they leave a reasonable sort of scratch mark. It's incredibly accurate, so probably the most accurate thing that we could mark with here today. One thing to remember, if you've set up this, say this little set square, you need to, because of the angle of the tip, you actually need to angle the scriber into the ruler, like so. So if I just hold that vertically, you can see there's actually two lines about 1 millimeter apart. So if you're marking, angle it in. Now, that's kind of like a high-speed steel material, so you'll have to sharpen that every now and again. Probably the kind of things I really like are these carbide scribers. So this is a larger one. You just undo the tip and turn it around because it's really sharp. And if you have that in your pocket and you fall over, you might end up hurting yourself. And here's just a smaller version. You don't really have to sharpen these guys, and they make an exceptionally good mark on the steel, and a very accurate one at that. We'll see you next time.